Well, one thing I am so against of, or I know it's, I hurt myself or whatever. I think, well, who does evil things or evil doers? Are we just thinking, oh, let's celebrate 9/11. It's a party. Let him die. Nah. What we think about is corporate America dealing with this and all this is the one and only main enemy in this world is Monsanto. I think why I am against Monsanto, why I'm against GMOs and whatever the case may be. Yeah. I think that whatever it is, free trade. It hurts me. It freaking bothers me. I don't know, we were most hated because of that. I think we could change, and I think this is what it is. These people, Monsanto, all they do is, even freaking free to nuke this place. Well, nah, that's just a bad idea. The only thing to change is if we could all change and have a good reputation. This is the enemy. This is what it is. It's like, okay, Monsanto and DuPont and Dow. These people are creating GMOs, genetically modified organs, in our food system. I know it's supposed to be, if you have to do free trade, fair trade. Yes, I am worried of American industry going to Colombia. But also I'm worried for like the Monsanto come into there and permit it. I just see a video, man, it's awful. I am just against, well, I'm against, actually, sorry about that. I never wish anything bad to anybody. But what I think to me is that, I'm sorry to be say something offensive or whatever it is. I think this thing about religion and politics, that's one thing that I'm saying, that first of all, nuclear weapons. Okay, I remember though, between this, how the hell you gonna go and get involve religion and politics in one area? And this is one thing about secret societies having bullshit in the silver, excuse my language, BS served in the silver platter. Well, that's one thing of a concern why people hurt each other and have these massacres and stuff. It is everybody's fault, no matter where or what nationality they are or where we come from. The main thing is that GMOs or this thing is, we have to take this thing, I think, in the Netherlands. Yeah, that's how we take it in the Netherlands. According Holland, if we take this in Holland, all the governments of the world against the companies that create GMOs, and anything like this, like we have to stop that. We have to stop GMOs. We have to stop all these, everything that goes in harm's way, right? That's an article, as I said, I know what it is. I know that I have my trip going outside the US has changed me, and then I know what it is. What it is the only reason that you gotta change. If I was a president, I know what it is. Monsanto and companies like that are involved on creating genetically modified foods, and we buy this kind of food. Other countries that are opposed to that, and you're going to jail for not serving their seeds. There's thing about the world against Monsanto, about the world according to Monsanto, about the Michael Clayton or movie and some things like that. These things, I said, is hurt to myself. Wait a minute. If these companies are involved with chemical weapons, biological weapons, we ain't gonna support this kind of crap. I'm crying because of this. I have lost it. Saying this kind of stupidity about this has made me lost a friend in Facebook, or has been blocked me in Facebook, because I know about I used to talk to her. I could remember we used to talk in Skype. That's the reason why I know dolphin killing, and Japan shouldn't kill dolphins. Well, everybody needs to live in peace together. I know that this Monsanto companies like that, and they're not just involving that. I read something in this, something about banning wheat. Wheat from Monsanto, GMO wheat, and to be banned in Japan. And then if you wanted to do this, the JAFTA thing. In the other hand, when I thought about JAFTA, it made me cry too, because I don't want to hurt the country that I wanted to go, that I love to go, even though they have suffered for us and everybody else being bashed and all this kind of crap. Why? Nobody's perfect. Everybody does bad stuff. I'm a caring person, and all I care about is people being safe, being in a safe haven, not being, modified. I'm crying because, it made me cry. It made me think of this. And I know it's not mine from the my log, but another mine, but she was a friend of mine or whatever, and that's why I said something stupid. You want to come here, come to the US, and I think we need to protest against Monsanto, not just only here in America, but worldwide. A worldwide, protest against Monsanto. You have. We'll start from New York to Chicago to Illinois, and then going from Toronto to Vancouver to Sydney, Australia, to Tokyo, Japan, to Fukuoka, to China. We have to protest that enough is enough. We have to protest all the way down to the Netherlands to fight against these suckers. We want to fight against these suckers at court. All the world governments and all these puppets. Besides the pharmaceutical companies, problems for the US. We gotta stop these guys, stop these, chemical weapons. We buy their foods, we buy GMO, we're supporting a war. We're supporting a war in Syria by buying GMOs. And then other countries. What's the next? What Monsanto's gonna do? Another war? More chemical weapons? Not to help Fukushima. And regardless, because if they don't buy their stuff or whatever, what are we gonna do? Send a plane? Gosh, I know these people are so freaking evil. What they've done in my parents' country, Colombia. They don't want a grain of rice, and then they don't want that grain of rice have been destroyed. And this is a documentary happening in my parents' country, Colombia. I would like to say I can't be Superman. I cannot fix everything. It's the same thing. This is like the new nuclear weapons. Monsanto is the new atomic bomb, man. I was saying, if we all could live in peace together, love each other, and all this stuff, I wonder that we don't have slowly things like that, we don't want an apple to be like a piece of Hiroshima or Nagasaki. No, that's what Monsanto is trying to do. You know, in Europe they have banned this crap. They have banned GMOs. You know, is this the worldwide, you know, the world versus Monsanto? This is like a protest worldwide that we all have to do, gather together and stick together. And please believe me, if the world going against Monsanto, you know, I'm just calling that from the US, even though I was born in the US, but I'm just against these things. Totally, a woman taught me that regardless of if she had blocked me, or just her name is Mai Ko Yanagi, that's her name. I know you watching this because I'm just posting this, and then you changed my mind of things like this. I am totally against nuclear weapons of all sorts. Not even, you know, it's what is my perspective of why if it's somebody from Northern Ireland Ireland wanted to take over Britain, prefer being a British puppet than killing millions of people with a bomb. No, man, I am against that. That is more of saying that we want peace in this world and no more takeovers or whatever the heck we could see, the fight for your own right. Yeah. And then the real enemy is not us. It's not Japan. It's not Britain. The real enemy is Monsanto and these corporate suckers that create GMOs after they create this genetically modified food and Roundup and Agent Orange. They create chemical weapons to go and get us, you know, get into problems in Syria, problems that I think I cannot handle watching it on the TV or something. Damn. That's why I'm saying a worldwide protest against Monsanto is the only solution to, you know, people can live in peace. The only solution to end these companies that make chemical weapons, that make biological weapons. You know, if you're supporting Monsanto, you're supporting a war. You're buying GMOs, you're supporting manufacture of chemical weapons, of biological weapons. Why? Because they are experts in making these kinds of weapons. This is worse. You know, worse than anything else in this thing. Worse than atomic bombs. You know, we could, you know, stop switching nuclear energy from coal fusion, windmill power, and all that stuff. But now this is what it is. If everybody gathers together around the world, you could start whichever town. New York City, where you have a melting pot of different cultures. Monsanto is the new Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Go ahead, protest on the streets. The world versus Monsanto. All over Japan, do the same thing also. Go against Monsanto, even though you're smart enough to not to buy all their products that create a lot of warfare, chemical and biological warfare, because with the Roundup and all this stuff, like people like Dow and all that stuff, with, you know, they also have support and you have an income to create chemical weapons, biological weapons. You know, the war in Syria, who created the war in Syria? Dow, I think Syngenta, DuPont, and Monsanto. It's Monsanto's fault to create the war in Syria. It's Monsanto's fault that we're having all these problems. It's all the case of Monsanto. It's Monsanto's fault. We need to see that. people in Syria, I know what you're guessing. Go out there, even if they're using Monsanto's products to kill each other, you could stand up for whatever's right. I could remember the American Civil War. These guys supporting Monsanto's, they're the Confederates. These guys are the new Confederates. Yeah, that's it. You could fight willpower and go against and fight for freedom. This is what it is. Abraham Lincoln has done that. I know the history of my own country of this. Abraham has liberated from slavery. You have to liberate from the slavery of Monsanto. Protests in South Korea. Protests in China. Protests in Canada. Protests worldwide. Even protests in Mexico. This is what is called, this is new protest gonna start all over. Even in Fukuoka. Yoko and Yoko from Random Yoko and people in Fukuoka, like tell you somebody, Kayla and anybody who lives in Fukuoka, even for that blocked me and you listen to me, and from my log and everybody else listen to me. That also could be start world against Monsanto, the world versus Monsanto. Take this thing, and even Jujiro Tateyama could make something about Monsanto. And this is what it is. The world versus Monsanto. The world versus Monsanto could take out in the streets of every country in the world. Every country in the world. Even at a country that are using Monsanto's products, they're killing each other using Monsanto's products, then we're not going to get involved. That country has to do what they have to do. The American Civil War for Syria, just remember, have your Abraham Lincoln. And for the rest of us that is not there, everybody gather together across the streets of every city in the world. Protest against Monsanto. The world versus Monsanto. The world versus Monsanto and these other corporate punks. This is the way what it is. Corporate America is evil. That's what it is. Corporate America is evil. This is the most hated things. Just people, the real terrorists, it's just wearing ties and a suit and tie. Those are the real terrorists, and they work for Monsanto and DuPont and Dow. Those people are terrorists. Why? Because they create GMOs and all these chemicals that we need to use for these genetically modified organisms, and they also create chemical weapons, biological weapons, so we could use to destroy each other. We need to love each other and go peacefully and protest against Monsanto. We could also protest against nuclear everything. We could go protest, something that has been used for submarine fuel now being for use for destruction, or whatever, if natural disaster strikes, plants like Chernobyl, and even for weapons, we could protest against those kind of things also, because we don't need that crap. We need the world to love and peace, care each other no matter what. It's like this thing called I Have a Dream, that everybody could get together regardless of race, creed, whatever. I think that's Martin Luther King's speech, and he was born here, and I could tell you, main reason for this new Hiroshima and Nagasaki called biologic weapons, Monsanto, and all these punks behind Monsanto, we have to protest around the world and say no to Monsanto, no to GMOs, and no to companies that do this kind of crap, because we don't need no wars. We need no wars, no GMOs, no weapons, both of chemical weapons or biological weapons, no WMDs. They're not involved in WMDs. Nothing that harms us. Why? Because we need to fight, and the fight is tough. You had to be patriots, samurais, soldiers, whatever it is. We need to fight against these corporate people. Those are the ones that are evil. People that are like dressed up in a tie and a suit. Those are the real terrorists. Those are the real terrorists I'm talking about. The CEOs of Monsanto, the CEOs of companies like that. Those are the real terrorists. So, goodbye, peace out. Please, oh my, please. I think when you listen to this, I am totally against all things that goes in harm's way. Saying that if we may be friends and we talked on Skype and stuff, I said your town needs to come around together, going against these companies like Monsanto, and we have to protest. Even for countries that don't carry this kind of crap. Protest us now. Get out. Go out with your billboards, everybody around the world. Say no to GMOs, to companies that produce GMOs and chemicals for all this stuff, that create chemical weapons and biological weapons to make the world more sadder and bashing around like it is. It's enough the way it is. Let's be more like a peace-loving community around the world, that we have love each other, take care of each other, and whatever it is that we need to be in touch together. Together, we can make a great big change. We need peace in this world. We don't need chemical weapons or anything like that harms us. Goodbye.